He wore a badge, swore an oath, graduated top of his police academy. But by the time he stood in front of a Florida jury, that same man would ask them, beg them, to kill him. His name was Manuel Pardo Jr., a former cop turned cold-blooded executioner. He believed he was on a divine mission to rid the streets of so-called scum. His 9 known victims never saw it coming, and according to some, there may have been more. But the most terrifying part? He enjoyed it. He admitted to it. And he claimed he did it all for us, for society. This is the chilling, twisted story of the serial killer cop who said he slept like a baby after murder. Welcome back to Death Row Diaries, where we bring you inside the minds and crimes of Death Row's darkest residents. Today's story is unlike any we've told before. It's not just about a killer. It's about a man who once swore to serve and protect, then turned into a one-man execution squad. Manuel "Manny" Pardo Jr. was executed in Florida on December 11, 2012. Stay tuned to the end for a full breakdown of Manuel Pardo's final meal and last words. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this story, it's going to take you from police patrol cars to cold-blooded crime scenes, and you won't want to miss a second. Born on September 24, 1956 in New York City, Manny seemed like he was on a path to greatness. He was a Boy Scout, later a decorated Marine. When he joined the Florida Highway Patrol, he didn't just graduate. He graduated as valedictorian of his class, the best of the best. He wore his uniform with pride. He was intelligent, well-read, and eventually earned a master's degree. In many ways, he looked like the kind of man every police department dreams of hiring. But the cracks were already forming. In 1979, not long into his law enforcement career, Pardo was fired from the Florida Highway Patrol. His offense? Falsifying dozens of traffic tickets. Some say it was about numbers, pressure to hit quotas. Others believed it showed something deeper, a willingness to cheat the system. And sure enough, despite the serious breach of trust, another badge was waiting for him. The Sweetwater Police Department, just west of Miami, welcomed him onto their force. That hiring decision would soon haunt them all. But while Sweetwater gave him a second chance, Pardo had already crossed a line, and he wasn't done yet. Not long into his time at Sweetwater PD, another red flag waved. Pardo got caught lying to internal investigators, and just like that, another badge was stripped away. But instead of trying to rebuild a lawful life, Pardo took a detour straight into the dark underworld of Miami's 1980s, the height of the cocaine cowboys era. If you've ever seen movies like Scarface, you'll know the scene. Money, drugs, fast cars, beautiful women, guns. Pardo didn't just stumble into that world. He embraced it. He wanted it. Friends said he became obsessed with power and wealth. He saw drug dealers walking around like kings and decided he deserved the same. Only in his mind, he wasn't like them. He was a soldier, a vigilante, a one-man death squad. So, he made a resolution, a New Year's resolution. The goal? To systematically eliminate as many as I could before they finally caught me or killed me. That's not just a quote from a manifesto, that's what Pardo said to a reporter on death row. Do you think a man with that kind of mission can even be considered sane? Let us know in the comments below, and keep watching because it only gets darker from here. January 1986. That's when the killings began. First victims, Mario Amador and Roberto Alonso. The motive, according to Pardo, is that they were drug dealers, and in his eyes, they didn't deserve to live. But the investigators say the reality was far less noble. They were robbed, shot with a .22 caliber Ruger pistol. Money was stolen, valuables taken.
No evidence they were pushing product or threatening anyone's life. This wasn't vigilante justice. This was murder disguised as a cleanup mission. What's more chilling is that Pardo felt no remorse. He said it was easy, like swatting flies, and he was just getting started. Because the next victim was someone he actually knew, a man who trusted him. And the setup involved one of Pardo's closest allies, another former cop. The victim's name was Michael Milot, a Haitian gunsmith, an anti-Duvalier political activist. He had once sold silencers to Pardo, a business transaction that turned into a death sentence. But here's the twist. Pardo didn't act alone. His former Sweetwater police partner, Rolando Garcia, helped lure Milot into a trap. He told Milot to meet them near a car that belonged to Pardo's wife. Inside the vehicle, in the back seat, Manny Pardo was already waiting with a 9mm pistol. As soon as Milot sat down in the front seat, boom, a single shot to the head. Cold, quick, silent. The car was later found reupholstered, clearly an effort to erase the blood-soaked evidence. But the plan didn't erase the truth. Milot had trusted them, and in return, he got a bullet to the skull. Garcia would go on to play a larger role in Pardo's reign of terror. He was later convicted of 4 murders himself, though his sentence would change years later. But for now, the body count was rising, and Pardo wasn't slowing down. If you're still watching, that means you're as shocked as we are by what this man got away with while wearing a badge just months earlier. Smash that like button to help more people see this story, because most have never heard of Manny Pardo, but they should. Because next, we enter the homes of 2 unsuspecting men, and after that, a woman killed over a pawned ring and a VCR. And that's just the beginning. February 1986. Manny Pardo was now addicted, not to drugs, but to domination. And his next move? Breaking into the homes of those he claimed were part of the scum he was purging. That month, he targeted Luis Robledo and Ulpano Lado, 2 men gunned down inside their home, ambushed during what Pardo later described as a robbery gone right. No real evidence they were drug dealers, no confrontation, just 2 more bodies added to his growing list. Pardo would later say he felt good after every murder, that after he killed, he'd go home, sleep, and feel proud. It was starting to become clear this wasn't a vigilante mission. It was a personal purge, justified by delusion. And next came the murder that revealed just how irrational and dangerous he had become, because it started over a $50 pawned ring and ended in superstition and blood. The victims, Farah Quintero and Sara Musa. 2 women, 1 petty dispute. But for Manny Pardo, it was enough to kill. Quintero and Pardo argued over a pawned ring and a stolen VCR. Quintero refused to buy him a VCR using stolen credit cards, something he believed he owed him. The situation spiraled. But what really pushed him over the edge, he claimed, was Santeria, a religion with Afro-Cuban roots. According to Pardo, she had, quote, marked him for death using her pager. She had allegedly dialed the number 8 multiple times, a number that, in Santeria, symbolizes death. That's all it took. Pardo shot her dead. And then there was Sarah Musa, a beautiful young woman who happened to be with Quintero. She had no criminal record, no known ties to drugs. She was just there. And for that, Pardo executed her. Point blank. Later he insisted he never killed innocent people. He said he could never live with that. But Musa's family knew better. And so did the jury. Pause for a second. Do you believe Pardo's claims about cleansing society, or was he just another narcissistic killer? Comment your thoughts below. The next murder would change everything, not because of who he killed, but because of the mistake he made while doing it. Ramon Alvaro and his girlfriend, Daisy Ricard, were Pardo's next targets. His reason for targeting Alvaro? Missed drug deals, failed transactions. But there's no evidence Alvaro was dangerous, no proof he ever posed a threat. Pardo simply decided he had to go. So, like before, he crept in, took aim, and fired. Alvaro was killed. Ricard was shot too. But something went wrong. His gun jammed. In a panic, he began beating Ricard with the handgun itself. He struck her repeatedly, viciously. Then a sick twist of fate. As he slammed the jammed weapon against her head, it discharged. And the bullet,
it went straight through Pardo's own foot. A single moment of clumsiness that unraveled his killing spree. Pardo fled the scene, bleeding. He ended up in a New York City hospital, claiming he'd had an accident. But when investigators matched the bullet in his foot to the ones used in Ricard's murder, it was game over. The vigilante was finally caught. And when police searched his home, they found a darkness that went beyond murder. The search of Pardo's home didn't just turn up weapons or clothes. It turned up Nazi memorabilia, flags, posters, collectibles. Pardo wasn't just violent, he was ideologically twisted. Prosecutors described him as a Nazi sympathizer who admired Adolf Hitler. He reportedly expressed hatred for Jews and black people. This wasn't just about drugs. This was about power, superiority, and control. In court, he doubled down on his delusion. He confessed to all 9 murders. He said, "I am a soldier. I accomplished my mission. Give me the glory of ending my life and not send me to spend the rest of my days in state prison." His defense attorney tried to plead insanity, and many observers agreed he looked unstable. By the time he reached death row, Pardo had developed a nervous disorder. He had plucked out every hair on his body, his head, eyebrows, eyelashes, everything. During an interview with a CBS reporter 22 years into his sentence, Pardo still showed no remorse. "They do enjoy it?" they asked. "Hell yeah," Pardo answered, shackled, feet bouncing nervously. "Are you kidding me? Of course I felt good. I felt great. I felt I was doing a service to mankind." He said he'd go home and sleep like a baby, that killing made him feel proud. Even when asked about Sarah Musa, the innocent woman shot execution style, he denied it. "I could never kill an innocent person, but one of these people, I could put 20 bullets in them and sleep like a baby." The jury didn't buy it. He was convicted on all 9 counts of first-degree murder. and true to his word, he begged them for death. On December 11, 2012, Manuel Pardo Jr. was led to Florida's execution chamber after spending 26 years on death row. He was 56 years old. He wore no emotion, no apology, just a quiet, confident calm. His final meal was Cuban-style steak, white rice, red beans, fried plantains, avocado, and bread, with iced tea. And when the executioner approached with the needle, Pardo's final words were, "I'm ready, sir." At 7:47 p.m., the self-proclaimed soldier closed his eyes and went to sleep for the last time. He was executed by lethal injection, the same fate he had asked for over 2 decades earlier. In death, he left behind a legacy of horror, a man who once stood for law and order, only to become one of the most terrifying killers Florida has ever seen. And perhaps even more haunting than his crimes was the calm pride he felt in committing them. What do you think? Was Manny Pardo insane or just evil? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more real-life death row stories that expose the monsters behind the masks, subscribe to Death Row Diaries and turn on notifications.